Hey guys, Prowl1701 here, and today, kind of continuing like when I did my video recently talking about Blake 7, you know, kind of the odd familiarity I have with Blake 7 considering it's like a show I had always known about, but I didn't really know about. I figured I wanted to do something similar for that for Red Dwarf, because the Red Dwarf is another one I'm very familiar with. I've been familiar with it for a long time, you know, the 80s, the 90s. I don't actually remember, but from a long time I've been aware of it. Another one of these British sci-fi space shows with not enough of a budget. This one I'm a little more familiar with. I believe the main character's name is Lister. Is that right? Something with an L. I think it's Lister. I didn't look. I purposely didn't look anything up. But I think it's Lister. I know he has the, like, I think it's dreads, the black guy with, like, the dreads. And then there's the one guy who's the hologram. Because from what I remember in the story, Lister, like, falls asleep and he's in, like, cryogenics or suspended animation for a long time. And when he wakes up, the guy who was his roommate, who is long dead, now exists in the form of a hologram. And I know he's got that little symbol on his head right here to show that he's a hologram. And then there's the one guy who's either an android or like a rock thing. I'm not sure. He either looks kind of like a rock or a robot, or he's not human. And I think he's part of the main cast. And I think there's like a cat girl who was like originally like a humanoid descendant of his cat from back then. Like I think Lister had a cat, and like this cat is like a descendant of that is like this humanoid cat woman. I think. Again, it's very vague. I don't remember much of the show. I never saw a lot of the show. I remember advertisements for the show, because I remember them talking about the hologram guy, like, so-and-so is deader than a can of Spam, but he lives on in the form of a hologram, and it shows somebody, like, wave their hand, like, across his abdomen, and it just goes through him because he's a hologram. My main familiarity with Red Dwarf is, I remember reading a couple of the books. My aunt had a couple of the Red Dwarf books, and I remember one of them vaguely. Lister ends up on this planet, and it's like a garbage landfill. It's like the whole planet's just used as a dumping ground for garbage, I think, by other planets. And he's on this planet, and it's just garbage and junk everywhere, and it starts to rain, and it's like acid rain. So, you know, he's having to, like, duck up under a ship and stuff because it's acid rain. I can't remember if he crashed or he got stranded there. He's waiting on everybody else to come get him. And he realizes the planet itself is in agony. It's like he can feel the planet in pain. That's why it's raining this acid rain. And he talks to the rest of the crew, and one of them's like, "Don't worry, we'll be right there. Everything's going to be okay. Trust me." And then they finally get down to the planet, and all they see down there is an old man. And they're like, "Hey, old man, have you seen our friend?" And the old man's like, "Don't worry, we'll be right there. Trust me." Says in this little snide remark. I remember that part. "Trust me." And it turns out it's actually Lister, but he's aged, because there's some kind of time differential that happened. And so he had been down on this planet a long time trying to clean it, to stop the acid rain. He'd actually been down there trying to clean the planet, to kind of rejuvenate the planet so the acid rain and stuff would go away. And so he had aged into an old man because of I forget the time differential, something happened where time passed differently. Unfortunately, the rest of the crew had run into some kind of parasitic alien that takes the form of whatever it senses in your mind, and it sensed that they were looking for Lister. So it took the form of young Lister. And so it's taking the form of young Lister so it can manipulate and kill them. I forget exactly. I think it's trying to kill them, eat them, something like that. So they're having to deal with that while they're still having, actual Lister's really old. And I remember the end of it. They, like, go to a different universe, a parallel universe, where time goes backwards, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, because it's an attempt to get him back to his normal age. Like, he sits down for breakfast, and they put an empty plate in front of him, and he throws up his breakfast, because everything works backwards here. That's got to make going to the restroom very uncomfortable. But so like he actually like throws up his bacon, his eggs, his toast, and all that stuff because time just works backwards. And they like leave him a message saying, hey, we'll be back to pick you up in 16 years or something like that, or 30 years or whatever it is. So he's going to age back to his normal age, and they're going to come get him. And that's honestly the main thing I remember about Red Dwarf, right there in a nutshell. So much like Blake's 7, it's just another one that I have just this odd familiarity with, and a memory of reading, I think 2 of the books. I think I read another book too. I remember reading that book my aunt had. I think she had another one I read. I don't remember what happened in it. But I remember that one I just outlined, and just itty-bitty snippets of the show, which granted is more than I remember about Blake 7. But I think some people seem to people seem to like the Blake 7 video. I think they enjoyed kind of filling me in and stuff. Apparently this character in Blake 7 named Avon, it's like A-V-O-N. Apparently he's a pretty cool character. I had a lot of people raving about him. So that was kind of neat, learning and reading all of you kind of in the comments explaining it to me. It was kind of neat. It's a nice little community we have going there in the comments. I really enjoy it. And I'm sure people will for this video too, which will be a fun read for me. I'll enjoy that. So I would like to know what you have thought of this video and what you think of Red Dwarf. So comment down below and let me know. I always enjoy hearing from you guys. Other things to do: click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon. If you like what I do and would like to contribute to what I do, there is a link to that down in the description below as well. Patrons get exclusive access to stuff like polls to vote in, which you can vote on videos that will be exclusive to the Patreon and videos that will go up on this channel. I enjoy doing those. I'm currently attempting to rewatch the Daemons. That is going very badly. I'm watching the omnibus version of it for the first time, and dear God, is it hard to get through. I don't understand why people like this story. Colony in Space is so much better. They also get bloopers and outtakes and other stuff I like to post. They do get exclusive videos as well. Like, for instance, that video was supposed to be an exclusive. I have a feeling I'm going to end up putting it on the channel and do something else as an exclusive. I reviewed The Idiot's Lantern recently. I ranked the Masters not too long ago. I also ranked the Doctors a month or 2 back. If anyone wants to see my ranking of the Doctors, that's an exclusive video on there. It's actually an exclusive video series. It's like 5 videos ranking the Doctors. I also want to give a shout out to 2 of my patrons, 2 of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane and the 5th Doctor. I appreciate their support, just as I appreciate all of my patron support and all of my subscribers. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a link to that down in the description below. I have had people recently asking me about a P.O. box, and I thought, well, that seems like a fun thing to try. So I do have a P.O. box now, and I do have that P.O. box listed down in the description. So if there's anything Doctor Who related or sci-fi related or just whatever related that you would like to send to me, my P.O. box is down in the description, and I very much appreciate that. My Amazon wish list is down there as well. A link to my Amazon wish list if there's anything on there, mostly first and second Doctor stuff and some sonic screwdriver stuff. If there's anything there you want to send me, check that out. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.